Hi, welcome to Angels, God, and Me. And I'm your host, Mary Amy, coming to you live. My site is listed on the screen, maryamyofficial.com. As an intuitive wisdom coach and empath, I'm ultra sensitive and capable of understanding and knowing your spirit. I've joined forces with the four elements of nature to be in the flow. Let's begin to transition bad luck and bad karma to goodness. Angels are celestial beings performing acts of goodness for humanity. I hope to bring us together in a peaceful way of life. On today's show, we have topics, a weekly quote, a blessing, a prayer. We have guest medium Fleur, international renowned Los Angeles medium. We have a gemstone, and we have a visualization. Today, I would like to start with a prayer, and I'm going to show you the prayer so you can kind of follow if you're interested. I'd like to say that I'm working on forgiveness, and so I decided this might be a good prayer for everyone. Buddhist prayer of forgiveness. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through their own confusion, I forgive them. And if there is a situation I am not ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge, or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. I'd like to say a blessing. We dedicate this show to the Americans suffering and those who have passed due to sickness. We send blessings to them, the love in our hearts, and compassion and kindness to the families affected. We are thankful to the doctors and nurses risking their lives during lockdown and quarantine. I know everyone out there is thinking the same things as I am, that we are not on the front lines dealing with the illness. And so we are really grateful to anyone who is battling this personally. And so I send my blessings. Okay, I'd like to say a quote which is kind of partly related to what I just said. So this quote is, how very little can be done under the spirit of fear. And that's by Florence Nightingale, and she lived 1820 to 1910. And Florence was the founder of modern nursing. She was a British social reformer, and she actually had a day commemorated for her, which is International Nurses Day, which is celebrated on her birthday. Florence Nightingale was awarded the Royal Red Cross in 1883 and the Order of Merit in 1907. And it was interesting when I did some research on her, and I know I grew up kind of hearing about her and books were written about her, but I didn't do any kind of extensive research until I looked it up for this quote. She believed she was called by God at the age of 16 to service others. And she educated herself in art and science, even though she received opposition from her family. Because in those days, she was a pioneer, because women were more focused on being a mother and a wife, which is commendable. But Florence felt like she had a calling. And she's known actually as a 19th century mystic. And she felt powerful energy as a healer. She traveled extensively to Greece and Egypt. And during the Crimean War in 1854, she traveled 295 miles across the Black Sea to Crimea, and she trained 38 volunteer nurses. She sent a plea for aid, and a hospital was built, and she reduced the death rate from 42% to 2%. Now, before we have our guests this morning, I'd like to do a visualization. Oh, I want to say I see a couple of, oh no, is the volume not working? I just heard. Okay. Norma Jean, thank you. Okay, today's visualization. To visualize yourself into a better mental state. This is valuable if you're feeling unsettled or distressed. I'd like you to get into a comfortable position. I need this myself. Relax your body and close your eyes. I'd like you to breathe. Now, let's together take 3 inhales and 3 exhales. Let's do a body scan from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. And let's exhale tension. Now, I'd like you to imagine a glorious nature scene. Maybe it's a beach, a waterfall, a field of flowers, a forest, or mountains. It's a vibrant visual location that brings you joy. Many details with all your senses. What does it smell like? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? The colors of nature. Let's connect with the fresh air and feel the freedom and see the beauty. The sun beaming down on you. And let's remain in this moment. You are now letting go of the past, negative emotions of anger, fear, sadness, and stress. And you're looking forward to the future. You begin to feel better emotionally and physically. So let's breathe out the stress. And let's breathe in joy and new beginnings. I will count backwards to open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Now, I suggest you practice this a few times a day so that you can go to this beautiful nature scene when you are feeling stressed or upset. And one thought can change everything. I experienced a difficult time, and I've learned that a visualization exercise such as this will change the energy in a room. If you're not feeling well, it will bring joy to your heart. Okay. This morning, I would like to present Medium Fleur, who's an international renowned celebrity medium from LA, and she has the ability to communicate to spirits of loved ones passed over. She was aware of her gifts since the age of 4, so let's welcome her. I'm going to bring her in.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for joining us out from LA.
Thank you for having me.
So I was just mentioning that you realized that you had gifts starting at the age of 4. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite sure if it's actually like the age of 4, but the idea of it was that when I started talking as a child, my parents kind of watched it and could see that there was something going on. And it wasn't until I was about 18 that I realized that I could use it.
Oh. So what was that like? Was it that you were like, was it in your, like, cause see, the spirit thing for me is more like in my mind's eye, where it's not like do you see them physically in front of you, or is it, you're just receiving the information? How does it come to you?
Yeah, I think as a child, it was really visual. And then as time went on, it really disappeared from a more like 3D impression of spirit, and it became much more about sensory, seeing it in my mind's eye, and having like a knowing.
So what I noticed, because I watched some of your online videos on YouTube and even on your different pages, social media pages. I found it astounding that the descriptions that you had and the information, it was a lot. It was a lot. How do you deal with that? Because that's intense. Like, how do you like kind of filter through all of that? You're a little quiet now. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. It was echoing back. Oh. I'm sorry, because I can't hear at all then.
Okay, I'll try it.
Now it's good.
Right. The thing that's happening is I'm hearing my voice twice.
Oh, you're hearing your voice twice.
Are you hearing me twice? Okay, I'll just talk over myself.
Okay, can you do that? I know, because you know what? I had this also with someone who I spoke to, and she was in Hawaii, and it was the same thing, and I don't know why, but we heard the echo. We're not hearing any echo.
Okay, all right. I'm going to ignore my own voice. So the question is, like, it comes in all of a sudden, really over time, right? Like anything else. It starts as maybe over time you hold on to it, and then it becomes more fluid, and then isn't the way that you're just used to it. It's overwhelming. It's just my way at that point.
Because so now that basically you've kind of realized how to handle it, right? Because at first it's overwhelming, and now you kind of can filter everything, and then because you're so accurate, you have names, and you even have, it seems like generational. I don't know if it's that person's life or their past lives. Do you get that as well? Past lives?
So I actually don't work with past lives at all. My work is twofold. So I'm looking at the psychic connection, meaning your life with your spirit, your soul within the physical self, and then the soul, the spirit, the life force as it exits the physical. Right. So we're looking at both you here in the physical world with the soul already, and that I would be connecting to is that soul, or the soul without the physical, and that would be mediumship. But we're not really looking at past lives. We're just looking at either the life you lived here and are living, or connecting to people who have passed and aware of.
This is okay. So sometimes, because I read that you do 2 different kinds of readings, which are a spirit communication or a psychic reading, right? So let's say someone comes to you, Fleur, and they say, do a psychic reading. Does it sometimes turn into speaking to someone who's passed as well? Or
It can. Yeah, it can. I would say that the energy is really different. So I personally find that it's as if I'm either on the ground floor or like the second floor. And if somebody really needs to get your attention, maybe we go to the second floor, or I'm doing a spirit communication and they're making me very aware that I need to talk about your life. Like, sometimes it can mix, but I always like to that when I'm connecting, we're on our initiative, on what the needs, the wants.
I get it. It's amazing. You're amazing. So, like, as far as your abilities, you mentioned, I don't know if when we spoke earlier, I read it, that you've been doing this for 12 years.
Yeah.
So where has that taken you, and what, like, that blows my mind, because I've just kind of figured everything out for me, and I've been working at it for like 6+. So I can't imagine doubling that. And so how far, like, what have you done? Have you traveled to other countries? Have you, like, you're international. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I started with an actual closet. I was sharing a room with a roommate because it was expensive at UCLA. And kind of throughout the 4 years, I did readings, so I wasn't telling anyone. I was in medical school. And it was like the first 3 years, I would say, of from that time on, I graduated and I decided to do mediumship full time. And that's, I would say, where like travel and things like that have brought me. Probably predominantly to the UK. And I haven't done too much like world touring, mostly just the US.
And so, is this just, because you said you were started out in college, and you were like a young woman, a girl. I still think you're so young. How did you get
turning 30 in a month?
I thought you were like 21 years old.
I
know. No, you're so young. So how did you kind of get it out there? Did you have a marketing team? Was this word of mouth? Were people just like, get on the phone with her? Like, did you kind of come do other people's like shows and then they brought you on? How'd you get so involved in this?
It's funny because I really didn't have any marketing, I think, for the first 9 years. So it was all word of mouth. Predominantly what I did at that time was one-to-one readings. So there wasn't a lot of shows or anything like that. So I didn't really need marketing. But yeah, it was really word of mouth for 9 years. And then you do need a little bit of marketing when it comes to like filling out a theater, because it's hard to get people to a theater no matter what, right? But predominantly it really has just continued to word of mouth, which is really, really exciting and really awesome. I really love working that way.
Mm-hmm. Because I did see that you have gotten quite a bit of coverage, on either news shows or talk shows, and they're not, I don't know if they're in LA or they're across the country.
They depend. I would say at the moment, maybe like half of them just contact me. So it really depends really on the way that shows up. It can be quite random where you're like, not quite sure how you got my information, but I'll participate. That's fine.
Right. Because you are so accurate, what happens when you get some information about someone that is not positive? How do you deal with that?
That's interesting. Yeah, I always ask people right before I start a reading, is there anything you don't want to know? And if they say, no, I'm fine, and I can tell they haven't really thought about it, I'll go up and say, okay, what about this? What about you feel very positive, maybe? Never mind. Even before we begin to just decide, is there anything you don't want to know? And openness to that is still that they would. I don't want to future worry about something changeable or and no ability to do anything about it. So my question really for spirit is always if they need to hear it, it helps them move beyond it in a higher purpose kind of fashion, or if they can change it, then I'm happy to pass it through.
Okay, so question, and then we'll just move on from this. Have you ever had a spirit come through and say, you see this in the movies, and they'll say, oh, you'll be telling the client something that the spirit knows. I mean, I don't know how the spirit would know, but do you ever have that, like warning them about something in their life?
At times, yeah, there will be times the world brings up a physical illness that somebody's dealing with, or will be dealing with. There's been times where somebody's mother, for example, would pass later that year, and it usually only comes up when somebody's slightly aware of it already. I have had it, and there's an example of this, where a woman came to see me, and she owned a business with a business partner for 13 years, 15 years, whatever it was. And I told her in the reading that in that following year, she'd no longer be working with her business partner. And she was like, no, you're not right. There's no way we would separate. We've been doing this for 15 years. And came up to me in the class a year later and said that her business partner had passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack. And she was like, why wouldn't they warn me about that? Why wouldn't they tell me it's going to be a heart attack? And I thought, maybe it's just something you couldn't have changed, but on some element you needed to know that it was going to happen. Like on some level, the knowledge that you wouldn't be working together was important. Preventing it wasn't, for whatever reason. Maybe it was just time. Maybe you couldn't have changed it anyways. Maybe it would have caused excessive worry. So I find that you're quite smart about presenting your information in such a way that sometimes it only makes sense when we look back at it.
Right. I just want to say that I'm really glad for what you do, and that you, because you are giving comfort to people, who can't either let go or they need more information when someone has passed. And I feel like it's part of their healing to speak to someone like you, because it's like kind of a way of kind of closure or letting go, or information that they still need that they don't feel well about. So I want to say thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, and you as well. We're all just doing our part.
I'm trying. Okay, so is there any other further work that you want to accomplish? I know that you have a podcast that we spoke about, Moving Beyond. And how long have you been doing that?
So we actually just started. I think we're on our 8th episode, so we're about 2 months in. It's going to be a season, and I'm really the work that I've done in my career that I'm most proud of and most excited about. It is an ability for people to listen in on a reading and also on a therapy session, and to really see how people are grappling with the aspects of loss that we don't always talk about. The guilt, question, relationships that weren't necessarily good in life, yet you're still leaving. There's all these topics. Every single week we have a different person who comes in. And the structure of this show is they sit down with Claire, the grief therapist, and they get to discuss how grief is still impacting their life. And then they get to come sit with me and we do a mediumship session. And it's been really amazing to watch people have incredible changes in their perception of grief and the ability to move beyond, which is why the show is called Moving Beyond. But it's been very, very fulfilling.
You are so gifted. I also saw, I'm going to show, because I just wanted to show everyone that you have this online on Amazon, and I think through your website as well, which is mediumfleur.com. It's a journal for 10 minutes to intuition. So what inspired you to do this?
Well, it's funny. This journal, I've never had anything that like came to me in a dream except for this journal. So I'm not much of a dreamer. I don't get precognitive, anything like that, dreams. But I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, this is it. Like, I have to write this. And it really, I think, was spurred from working with students over years and years. And after class, they would say, okay, this class was great. I learned so much. I had a lot of aha moments. What do I do now? And I wouldn't ever have a good answer because they'd be like, oh, well, you should do daily practice. And they would say, how? I don't know how to do that. I don't have anyone to practice with. Doing it by myself seems silly. And so it was built from a space of wanting to give somebody a daily 10-minute thing that they could do to really build the intuition and to watch themselves progress, as well as a self-study. Because I found that in teaching the intuition, it was never cookie cutter. There just was never an ability for me to say, okay, if everyone follows these 20 steps, then you too can be intuitive, right? It just doesn't work that way. Your intuition is your self-teacher. It is the part of you that has found a way to get your own attention, right? And the way you get your own attention is very specific to the individual. It's based off of your previous life experience. It's based on how your body's physiology of it reacts to its environment, different levels of sensitivity. And so this journal is really about getting clear on what are your patterns, so that you can recognize how and when they interfere. In the future, when it's showing up, you don't have to question it. You just know that this is the pattern. You can act on it.
It's like what you just said is you're gaining like trust in yourself that you, instead of saying no, I mean, because like now that's actually the only way I kind of operate. I don't operate by thinking things. I just am doing them. And then sometimes I say, how am I ever going to get through that? And then later I said, why didn't I trust myself more? Mm-hmm. I'm totally going to order this on Amazon. I think it's $25 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon or on my website.
Either one. Well, that's wonderful. I'm excited about that. So before we go, I just wanted to ask, you have a mentorship that starts Saturday, right? And what is that?
I'm busy. It is a 2-month mentorship. It's a personalized mentorship in which we meet as a group over Zoom, of course, because it's quarantine, once a month. And then throughout the month, we are looking at personalized exercises for the student to help them figure out how their intuition works, how their psychic muscle works, how they can connect with spirit. There's also partner exercises. They get daily tests and intuition exercises they should be doing. We look at a different modality of meditation every week so that by the end of the 8 weeks, you have 8 different meditation styles to try out, because I find that one works for some persons and then the other, is else. So it's very much again about figuring how it works for you, but with a little guidance on my end to say, maybe try this, maybe try that,
maybe try that, right? Right. Now, is this one-on-one? When you said Zoom, I didn't. Maybe you said it and I missed it. Is this a group of people or is it one-on-one, the mentorship?
It is a group of people, but the personalized exercises are for the individual.
Very nice. Very cool. So I know we can reach you on Facebook, Medium Fleur, and then your Instagram. Is there anything else you want to share with us about your future or what you're doing? Or
No, I don't think so. I've been really excited about projects like that at the moment, and it's been really fun to get to work with students, especially lately. That's been great.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you joining us this morning, and everyone can find Fleur on her website or social media, and she's very well known out in LA, and take a look at her. She's fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks and have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, bye. I found out quite a bit that I didn't know, and I am definitely going to order her journal, because I actually have my own journal I was going to talk about later, which is about dreams. Okay, so let's, that was a lot to take in. And it was interesting when she was talking, I was trying to stay out of it. I tune in, but then I said, okay, ground yourself. And when I did that, I saw like an angel wrap its arms around me. It was the strangest thing. Okay, now I'd like to share with you some angel facts this morning, and it's movies with an angel theme. So I made up a list, and there's quite a few angel movies with the theme. And I'll run through a few of them. There's City of Angels with Meg Ryan. It was 1998. Legion, 2010. Hearts and Souls, 1993, Robert Downey Jr. And I saw a clip of that, and he was so young. That looks like a bit of a comedy. It's funny. A famous movie, Heaven Can Wait, with Warren Beatty in 1978. Angels in the Outfield, 1994. Our favorite, Keanu Reeves with Constantine in 2005. The movie The Prophecy, 1995. Dogma with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in 1999. And that's kind of I think Kevin Smith is the director, and that's also somewhat of a comedy. Michael with John Travolta, which is one of my favorites, from 1996, and Kira Sedgwick. And no, that's not Kira Sedgwick. I'm trying to think, somebody else. It was the woman actress with red hair. Anyway, so check out some movies. I know that we all have time home, and we have more time to watch movies. So here's, just Google it, movies with angels, and there's a lot more. I just put some of the more name titles and some of the ones that I've seen. Okay, so before we go, I wanted to share from the box, the glitter box gemstone, which I also have one over here, which is amethyst today. So an amethyst gemstone is powerful and protective tumbled gemstone. Its calming presence produces understanding, soothing, memorable dreams. It relieves insomnia. It brings clarity and peacefulness. This will help you flow freely in mental and metaphysical dimensions. A spiritual divine stone. It helps clear, open, and balance crown chakra. So we're talking about up here, your crown chakra. I do want to remind you that I do have Angels Guide Me t-shirt available on my website, maryamyofficial.com. It's $28. You can Venmo me and tell me what you like about the show, or give me some suggestions. Oh, Lori Sorensen. Hello, Lori. Oh, I want to do some shout outs to Tracy, Anna, Norma Jean and Carrie, Bailey. It's funny, I can't, Nora. Also, I want to mention, we spoke about journals, and I've published this on Amazon. It's a dream journal. It's my dream journal, and what you do is you write down the date and time and a description of the dream, and you have room for a picture if you want to put a picture. And I ask you questions early on in the book about if there's any characters or symbols, story archetypes, and that's for dream work. And you can go on afterwards, after you've kind of seen what your dreams are about, and you can start to see patterns and a theme. And then you can start to ask yourself, why are you having certain dreams? Or you can see something about your waking life. Now, I've kept a dream journal since 2014, And that's why I went ahead and made one, because I knew that it was essential to creating what I desire. And so you keep it by your bed and you write it down when you wake up, your sleeping dreams, and you will see unconsciously what you're focused on, and you'll learn what your direction your soul wants to take. Sometimes our dreams reveal warnings and premonitions. I'm not gonna, ding, ding, ding. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. Everything you say, think, and do designs your future. Fear, negative thoughts will become darkness in your life, attracting unhappiness in people, relationships, and career. Let's create only positive thoughts. I want to say some upcoming shows that we will have meditations with T.W. Durfee, and another show I'm going to have Peter Hansen, Angelic Channeler. And I'm going to be posting 5-minute visualizations. Thank you for joining me. Please like my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Mary Amy Official. Wishing you create light, art, actions of kindness and compassion to shift away darkness. Lasting repercussions through a chain of events. With awareness, you can change your focus, your mood, yourself, your happiness. I'm sending out prayers to all of you, hope, health, and happiness. Thank you for